Selecting stitches are very easy. First, we're going to work with the Stitch Font menu. This is this button right here. So if you touch that, it will allow you to navigate from row 1, 2, 3, or 4. So whichever row you're working with, so if you're working with 4 and you want a decorative stitch number 5, you just select stitch 5. It shows beside it and touch OK. And it'll go right to that particular stitch. You're going to notice it recommends foot B, a needle based on which fabric we have selected. Now this is the sewing advisor. We'll get into that with another video so you really understand why you want to use it and how wonderful it is with your machine. We also have the Navigator Arrows. So on certain places where you need to go up or down, we can work with that. It will also arrow through your different stitches. So if you're on row 4 and you're stitch 5, if you touch it, it will go to stitch 6, stitch 7, stitch 8, and you can kind of roll through all your stitches until you get to the right one that you're working with. Or if you're just sewing out all your decorative stitches, which I highly recommend, you can use that up arrow and just work your way through all of the different ones. We also have the stitch length and density is down here. So if we want to make it spread out a little bit further, that will do it. Hear a beep, it means that's as far as they'll go. Notice that it highlighted this number when I started changing it. When we started, it was not highlighted. So that's the default number. So you can easily see when you have changed it off the normal setting. This section over here is the stitch width. So we can change that down. You'll notice your stitch is getting narrower as it goes, and that number has highlighted also. If you want to not have altered settings of width and length, one way to clear that is just to pick another stitch. And since we know we can touch the arrows up one and down one, that will bring it back to the setting that it started off with. We also have a program mode, which we'll go into, being able to combine stitches or to combine fonts. We have a favorites area, save to my stitches. So you can create kind of your own little group of stitches. We have a set menu. In the set menu, we can do different things where we can have our twin needle, our fix or cut on or off, a lot of different things that we can set up based on the way you like your machine to run. Things that are set up in here in the set menu are held when the machine has been turned off. To get out of the set menu, touch the tools, looks like a little pair of pliers and a screwdriver there. That's really easy to remember. Then we also have our mirror images. We have one that's right to left. Kind of see this stitch changing around. And we have end to end. You won't see it on this particular stitch because it's symmetrical. See if we can find, there's one. So if we change it end to end, here the leaves are sewing first versus the stem, or we can flip it around. So you have 4 different directions your stitch can be sewn at. We have a recommendation for the pressure of the foot, and that is right over on the left side of your machine where there is a big dial. And then also this picture indicates whether you should have stabilizer for the stitch. And yes, decorative stitches do require some stabilizer. So we're going to get into this machine and explore its different options and how to work around it. So now you can see how and where all the different functions are that I'll be pushing throughout the next videos.